You've mastered the performance, haven't you? The forced smiles at family gatherings, the perfect "I'm crushing it" posts online, the easy "I'm fine" at every coffee break. You even learned to clap your own chains, mistaking them for jewelry. But the stage lights are dimming, and that quiet voice inside, the one you keep trying to silence, is getting louder. What if you weren't born for this cage? What if there's more than this carefully constructed life? Here's what Madagascar taught me about why 90% of people never escape their quiet desperation, and it's not what you think. Now, Alex the Lion was the ultimate performer. His raw, his charisma, his entire existence was a meticulous show, applauded by millions. He believed his identity was intrinsically linked to the audience, to the zoo. But the moment the stage was gone, he was lost completely, undeniably. His sense of self, his purpose, all tied to a cage that was meant to protect him but truly define him. Does it sound familiar? You've built the perfect resume, the ideal "I'm crushing it" narrative. Your family beams with pride, your friends assume you've made it, but who are you when no one's watching? When the performative smiles are gone, when you are alone with that persistent nagging whisper that this isn't your life, that's the cage. And it's not your circumstances keeping you trapped, it's something far more insidious yet entirely within your power to change. So there's hope. Stick with me. It's your addiction to applause. Alex wasn't the king of the jungle, he was the king of performing for validation. The moment he had to survive without an audience, without the scheduled feeding times, without the predictable routine, he lost his mind. And we do this. We do this every single day. We wake up and check our phones before we check our hearts. We post our wins and hide our wounds. We curate our pain like it's content, and we perform our happiness like it's a job we can't afford to lose. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? That moment when someone asks, "How are you?" and you say, "Great," while your soul is screaming, "I'm drowning." That LinkedIn post about being blessed when you cried in your car that morning. That Instagram story of your perfect morning routine when you actually hit snooze 6 times and ate cereal for dinner. The brutal truth: you are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you're performing a version of yourself that doesn't exist. And the scariest part? You've been performing so long you've forgotten who you actually are underneath the applause. I know, because I've been there. I remember looking at my professional certification, the tidy figures in my spreadsheets, and the stable career I'd built as a qualified accountant. By every measure, I was winning. But late at night, staring at a screen that had nothing to do with my family or my dreams, I felt an emptiness. I felt like a fraud in a perfect suit, living someone else's life and doing it badly. Alex had the same realization in the jungle. Without the zoo, without the routine, without the crowd telling him he was special, he was just a confused animal who had forgotten his own nature. And here's what nobody tells you about the performance trap. It's not just exhausting, it's soul murder. Every time you choose a reaction that gets applause over the response that feels true, you kill a little piece of who you are. Every time you say fine, when you're falling apart, you teach people that the fake you is more valuable than the real you. Every time you post the highlight reel while hiding the behind the scenes, you reinforce your own belief that you are only lovable when you are winning. And that's not living. That's dying slowly while everyone applauds. Now take action. Right now. I want you to pause this video. Seriously, pause it. Ask yourself, what's one thing I'm pretending to be okay with that's actually killing me inside? Don't think about it. Feel it. What came up first? Write it down. Don't judge it. No, don't even go down that road. Just acknowledge it. That's your starting point. That's where your real life begins. See, recognizing the performance trap is step number 1. But knowing you are in a cage and having the tools to pick the lock, those are two different things. That's why I spend time developing what I call the Break the Cage framework. Practical system for finding your way back to your authentic self. Not because I wanted to sell you something, but because I needed to save myself from my own performance addiction. Specifically within the Break the Cage framework, you'll find the Performance Audit. This isn't another gratitude list. It's a kit that helps you dig up who you actually are underneath all the people pleasing and approval seeking. It shows you exactly where you're faking it and why. It helps you remember what actually matters to you, not what you think should matter. Because authenticity isn't a feeling you wait for, it's a skill you develop. And the Performance Audit is your first tool. Now, let's talk about Marty the zebra. Because Marty teaches us something about loyalty that could save your life. When Alex went feral in the jungle, when he became dangerous, unpredictable, scary, Marty didn't run, he stayed. Even when Alex's eyes went wild, even when he couldn't recognize his friend, even when staying meant risking his own safety, Marty reached toward the danger instead of running from it. When was the last time someone did that for you? Better question, when was the last time you were that person for someone else? We live in the swipe left generation, the unfollow, unfriend, block, and move on culture. Bad day, ghost them. Difficult conversation, leave them unread. Someone shows they're messy, not my problem. We want deep connections, but we have shallow patience. We want ride or die friendships, but we panic at the first sign of die. We want people to love us unconditionally, but we love others with 1,000 conditions. And here's a devastating truth. Your loneliness isn't because you don't have people, it's because you've trained everyone in your life that the real you is too dangerous to love. Think about it. How many people in your life have seen your ugly cry? How many know what you're actually afraid of? How many have witnessed you at your worst and chosen to stay anyway? If your answer is 0 to 1, you are not connected. You are performing for an audience that doesn't even know who's on stage. Then there's the hard way after the first year of being a mom and an auditor. I was completely overwhelmed, but I couldn't admit it. I had built this reputation as a multitasker who thrived under pressure, so I just kept going. I'd have these moments where I felt like I was drowning, and I remember talking to a friend just trying to vent, and she quickly changed the subject. It wasn't her fault. I'd never given her a reason to believe I was struggling. The only person who saw the real me was my husband, who would just hold my hand and let me cry on the kitchen floor. That's when I realized I had hundreds of people I could call to celebrate with, but a support system of one who would just stay. I had built a network around my achievements, but I was aching for loyalty to the real me. But real loyalty, real love, it shows up when you are losing, when you are scared, when you are confused, when you don't have the answers, when you can't smile and wave anymore. That's when you find out who your martyrs are. And that's when you realize maybe the problem isn't that people are disloyal. Maybe the problem is that you've never given them a chance to be loyal to the real you. The loyalty crisis isn't about finding better people. It's about becoming a person worth being loyal to. Someone who doesn't disappear when life gets hard. Someone who doesn't judge others for being human. Someone who shows up, especially when it's convenient. Take action now. Think of someone in your life who's going through something hard right now. Not someone who's winning, someone who's struggling. Send them a message, not advice, just I'm thinking about you. How are you really doing? Then actually listen to the answer. Don't try to fix it, just witness it. That's how you practice being a martyr. Now here's what I discovered. Wanting to be more loyal, more present, more emotionally available, that's beautiful. But if you don't have the skills, you'll burn out or mess it up. I spent months trying to be a better friend and just ended up overwhelming people with my intensity or feeling drained by their problems. I had the heart but not the wisdom. That's why, as part of the Break the Cage framework, I created the Connection Catalyst Kit. It's not about making more friends. It's about becoming the kind of person people feel safe being broken around. The Vulnerability Ladder teaches you how to open up without oversharing or trauma dumping. The Conflict Resolution Scripts give you actual words for those difficult conversations we all avoid. And the Emotional Availability Tracker helps you show up fully without losing yourself. Because in a world of surface level everything, depth is your competitive advantage. But depth without wisdom is just a beautiful drowning. Now, let's talk about those ridiculous penguins, because they understood something about freedom that most people never learn. Skipper, Kowalski, Rico, and Private. 4 penguins with one obsession: escape. First plan failed. They didn't have a pity party. They didn't blame the system. They didn't post about it on social media. They went back to the drawing board. Second plan failed. Back to work. Captured again. New strategy. They were chaos agents with the plan. And that combination, that beautiful, unstoppable combination, is what freedom actually looks like. But here's where most people get it wrong. Here's where we get it wrong. We think freedom is a feeling. We think it's about motivation and inspiration and waiting for the stars to align. We want to feel free before we act free. And we end up waiting forever. Freedom isn't an emotion, it's a system. It's a daily practice of choosing differently, of planning your escape while everyone else is complaining about the cage. I know you want out. I know you're tired of the same patterns, the same cycles, the same vision of yourself that you've outgrown but don't know how to shed. But wanting out and planning your way out, those are two different things. Most people have pain but no plan. They have dreams but no strategy. They have motivation but no system. And motivation without a system is just a good mood that doesn't last. Here's what I learned from my own prison break. The cage isn't usually your circumstances. It's your habits, your thoughts, your stories about what's possible, your beliefs about what you deserve and you can't think your way out of patterns you behaved your way into. You have to behave your way out. Step by step, day by day, micro-choice by micro-choice. The penguins didn't succeed because they were motivated. They succeeded because they had a system. They planned, they prepared, they practiced. They adapted when things went wrong, and when things went wrong, which they always do, they didn't quit. They pivoted. That's the difference between people who break free and people who stay stuck forever. People who break free have systems. People who stay stuck have wishes. Now, take action now. I want you to think about one area of your life where you feel completely stuck. Just one. Now ask yourself, what's the smallest possible step you could take today, not tomorrow, today, that would be movement in the direction of freedom? I'm not talking about a big step. I'm not talking about a perfect step. Just movement. Write it down. Then do it before you go to bed tonight. Not because it will change everything, but because it will change something. And something is how everything starts. See, I can give you all the inspiration in the world. I can tell you stories about lions and zebras and penguins until you feel motivated enough to run through walls. But if you don't have a system, a real practical psychology-based system for turning that motivation into lasting change, you'll be back where you started in 2 weeks, feeling worse than before. And that is why the Break the Cage framework includes a strategic freedom blueprint. It's not another manifest your dream fantasy. It's practical for people who are done with pretty lies and ready for ugly truths that actually work. The Cage assessment helps you identify what's actually trapping you versus what you think is trapping you, because they're usually different things. The strategic planning templates are based on behavioral psychology and motivation. The implementation tracking focuses on progress, not perfection. And the relapse recovery protocol prepare you for setbacks, because setbacks aren't failures, they are part of the process. This is for people who want freedom more than they want comfort, who want growth more than they want to be right, who want real change more than they want fake inspiration. Look, I don't know what cage you're in right now. Maybe it's a job that's slowly killing your soul while paying your bills. Maybe it's a relationship where you've lost yourself trying to be what someone else needs. Maybe it's a version of yourself that you've outgrown but don't know how to leave behind. Or maybe it's the story you tell yourself about what's possible for someone like you. But here's what I have experienced, what I know. Every day you stay is a day you are choosing the cage. Not because you are weak, not because you are broken, not because you don't deserve better, but because you don't have a plan. And you can't will your way out of a life you have built. Your move right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now at this moment. Just pause and breathe. Feel where you are. Stop running from it. Name your cage. What's the one thing you keep complaining about but never actually change. Write it down. No one else is reading this. It's just you. Identify your Marty. Who in your life has earned the right to see you struggle? Call them, not to fix you, but to witness you. Make your escape line. What's the smallest step you can make today toward the person you're becoming? Not the person you think you should be, the person that you are becoming. And finally, just take the step. Before you go back to bed tonight, before you check your phone, before you find another excuse, just go for it. Alex had to lose the zoo to find the jungle. Marty had to risk everything to discover what friendship actually means. The penguins had to fail multiple times to develop a plan that worked. And yes, failure is hard, it's not pretty, I don't like it too. And you have to be willing to lose who you've been to become who you are meant to be. The cage isn't your permanent address. It's just where you've been staying while you figured out who you are and where you're going. But now you know, you're not a zoo animal.